My name is Tamara McGuire. I teach yoga. I am a wife and a mother, and yeah, that's me. I come from a family where, I grew up on the East Coast, a very intellectual family, and we really achieved, and we are smart, and we understand things. And we didn't pay much attention to our bodies other than to admire them or to judge them. But the one thing I thought my body would, I just knew my body could do, was to have babies. I grew up with stories of my mom getting pregnant easily, and pregnancy was just a dream, and breastfeeding was amazing, and I just assumed that's how it would go. And I got pregnant very easily the first time. And my pregnancy was effortless. And when I was 33 weeks along, my baby, Mackenzie Elizabeth, died. And there was no warnings, her heart stopped. So we went to the hospital. When you're that far along, you have to deliver the baby. So I delivered her, and I got to look at her beautiful face, and I got to hold her for as long as I wanted. And then I got to say goodbye. And that was obviously devastating. My body didn't understand. After you're pregnant, even if you have a healthy baby, you still look pregnant for a little while. My milk came in, so my body was trying to nurse her. And I had failed. My body had failed. I had failed in the one thing I knew I could do. It was really dark. It was really dark. And that brought me to yoga, and it brought me to meditation. And I had to learn to sit with myself because I couldn't stand myself in some really basic ways. And everybody would say, oh, it's not your fault, and all the platitudes. And my husband and I would look at each other because we get these cards that said that people's thoughts and prayers were with us. And we'd sit there and we would say, oh, thoughts and prayers, great, more thoughts and prayers. Nothing hit, nothing settled, nothing made sense. Nothing worked. When you have a loss like that, the rates of divorce are astronomical. And we were very aware of that. And we have a long history, and we know each other very well, even at that point. We had very explicit moments of wanting to judge and nudge the other person in their process, and really not consciously saying, even if it didn't feel like they were doing it right or he was doing it right, consciously being like, no, I know that he's doing what he needs to. And part of what allowed us to not spiral into judgment of each other's process was because we got pregnant again so quickly. And so in many ways our focus had to shift away from that hurt, because that was my lifeline to joy. And then finding that lifeline then allowed me to go back and fill in the healing for him as well. And I have two beautiful, healthy children, and that's probably a different story. But that heartbreak, that failure, as I perceived it, forced me to reevaluate my relationship with my body, and it forced me to evaluate my judgments and my ideas about what should and shouldn't be, about what I could and couldn't do. It forced me to be with myself in a whole new way, working my way out of that dark place in coming from that hole and muddling my way through, in learning how to love and be a mother to children who are surviving and still honor my child who died, forced me to grow in unimaginable ways. And it changed everything. It changed who I am as a wife. It changed who I am as a mother. It changed who I am as a friend. It changed who I am as a stranger to people. It broke apart the disconnection I had, and it cracked me wide open, and it put me together in ways that I'm so thankful for. That I couldn't imagine where I would be if that pregnancy had gone smoothly, if she hadn't come and then left. I would just be roboting my way through, achieving and cold and having, good relationships, but not connected relationships. That all led me to eventually teaching yoga and finding that my purpose here, my reason for being here is to help other people in that way too. To help people find their bodies in deeper ways, in more sustainable ways, in more compassionate ways. And to make all of that okay, to make all of our experience okay, to help.